All right, my friends. Well, we are on the eve of Black Myth Wukong releasing tomorrow. So it should be releasing for me sometime after work, probably around like 6, 7 o'clock in the afternoon. But I gotta tell you guys, like, I'm feeling a little bit kind of like, well, I don't really know about this game. I've been running the benchmark tool again. I was playing around with that in there. I was running it at 4K and, you know, leaving like the medium ray tracing on. And, you know, just the fact that we still haven't seen what it's going to look like on the PlayStation 5, it's kind of got me a little weirded out, man. There's not a whole lot of freaking information out there. There's not a whole, I mean, like, we are seeing like some gameplay and stuff, but I'm going to be kind of honest with you guys, man. I've already bought the game. I'm going to test it out for, you know, at least like an hour and a half. And if it doesn't click with me pretty quickly, I'm going to refund it. I'm going to refund it on Steam because, I mean, I'm already thinking about just refunding it and not even covering Black Myth Wukong at all, just because of the fact that you got to understand, like, I've bought in some of these Chinese games already. I've bought in Sword and Fairy 7, I bought Wanyang Sword 7, and I bought Bloody Spell. And the funny thing is about all three of these particular games is they start off good. They start off like, wow, these are cool, I could definitely get into them. But they drop off so fast, it's not even funny. And, you know, after playing those three games and only having like Chinese language in them, they get really hard to follow along because you want to like kind of understand what the people are saying and not sit there and try to read the whole time. Like I mean, like, I get it, you know, that's just kind of like being spoiled or whatever, but man, if you can't like follow along with the story like really well and it's not like engaging, that means that the combat or the exploration or something else really has to be able to fill that gap to make that part of it worth it. And if that part doesn't really click, you know, if like those other parts, you know, tend to fall apart, because let's face it, man, I've run this thing on my benchmark, on the benchmark tool, with so many different just settings, so many different types of settings, and I just keep coming back to it doesn't look good at 4K at all to me. It doesn't matter what settings I'm running, if I'm running cinematic, whatever, no ray tracing, it just, to me, it doesn't look good on 4K. I don't care. Like, I would, yeah, there's no way I would be playing that game at 4K. You know, guys, we have another game out there right now that uses Unreal Engine 5, and that is Lords of the Fallen. And I've played that game, and even that game doesn't absolutely look incredible to me all the time. Like, it looks pretty good, but it doesn't always look like really good. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just not feeling like the Unreal Engine 5 in some of these types of games. Like, it looked incredible in Hellblade 2. Like, the way they built Hellblade 2, that looked incredible. But for some reason, Black Myth Wukong just doesn't have that like appeal to me. It just looks like it's going to get old and boring looking very quickly. The overall story of this game so far, I do like that kind of stuff, but if it's anything like Sword and Fairy 7, it's gonna fall flat pretty quickly for me. If it's anything like Bloody Spell, that game fell pretty quickly for me too, man. I mean, good thing it was only like a couple of bucks, and I mean, I've showed it off. It literally, these games feel like PlayStation 2 / PlayStation 3 games. Are like the corridor games. They make it appeal like there's like this giant open world. But I'm like, on Sword and Fairy, I downloaded it again tonight to kind of play a little bit of it, and I'm at this what is it, like I'm at like a hotel or something, and like you go to run out the back side of the building, and like you start walking, and boom, there's just like this imaginary freaking invisible barrier just like right there, and you're like, what the freak? And there's like something over there on the ground that you can pick up, but there's a barrier that prevents you from going over there and picking it up. And I'm like, the design of these Chinese games, my friends, it's not that I think they're bad. It's just that we've moved past that as gamers, and to like go back to like that like Devil May Cry type, you know, experience. Like I tried so hard to get into Sword and Fairy. I did, you know, at first I was like, yeah, this is actually kind of cool. This is actually kind of cool. And then I don't know, man. Like it just kind of fell flat. I get to this snowy region, and then all of a sudden it's just like, I don't know. So yeah, guys, I'm feeling a little weird about Black Myth Wukong. I wanted to let you guys know that it might be something that, like, I'm seriously considering just, you know, getting a refund from Steam, to be completely honest with you guys. Like, I'm just, you know, the fact that there's no coverage out there for PlayStation 5, the fact that you've already got like the trolls from like China, you know, like freaking out on people on Twitter and on YouTube and everything else for saying things that are wrong. The way that the developers said that, you know, like people couldn't talk about the game and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, I would have never even agreed to covering something like that if they would have gave me like stipulations. I'd have been like, no, I ain't covering that. I don't know, man. To me, it just seems kind of fishy. To me, it just seems like one of those games that, to me, guys, it feels like it started off as like this, like, to me, honestly, Black Myth Wukong started off as like a thing to try to get investors to give money, almost like a scam. And then people were like, oh yeah, we really like that. And then they hurried up and put a team together and like started like building this game out. And from what I'm seeing in like some of the reviews and stuff, when you read some of it, they're like talking about like the horrible performance and everything like that. I literally just had this company reach out to me. I'm not even joking. It's something. Let me see this, dude, because I'm not gonna do this. It's a collab a collab invitation for something called LogoFast. It's supposed to boost your frame rates and like lower your ping or whatever. And when I looked at Reddit, everybody was like, no, man, this thing is garbage. It doesn't work. And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. And the thing is this is the thing. Paid collab invitation, game booster X Black Myth Wukong I'm like, no, man. I'm like, no, dude. Something fishy's going on with this game, to where you've got like Chinese companies reaching out to content creators to pay them to say good things about this game. I don't know, man. Like they want to dual team it. You're like, yeah, man, cover Black Myth Wukong and throw in this stuff too at the same time. Something's fishy about this game, guys. Something's off about it. Like, it might, at best, this game's probably going to end up being a 6. Seriously. I mean, obviously it will be playable and you'll be able to play it and do this and all of that stuff. Like, obviously it's a real game. It's coming out. But there's something fishy about this, man. I think there's something fishy about the way they're trying to maximize the sales for this game. The fact that there's no PlayStation 5 review out right now. I don't know, guys. Leave something in the comments and let me know, because I'm seriously to the point where I'm just going to like refund it and put that money towards Star Wars, because I can at least trust Ubisoft to give me a beautiful open world to explore. When I start hearing about invisible walls in games and stuff like that, you know that gets to Froggy. You know Froggy don't like being in a fishbowl. You know Froggy and his fishbowl stuff. If I'm like running and I literally run into an invisible wall, and you can't tell me this doesn't happen, because this literally happens with Sword and Fairy 7. So I'm like, if I'm running, bro, and I run into a freaking wall and it looks like there's places that I can go explore over there, you know that's going to irk, you know that's going to make Froggy mad. You know that Froggy's going to be upset with that. So you guys let me know in the comments section, do you want me to cover this game? I mean, the fact that it already is crippling. And I know I make a lot of fun of the NVIDIA bros and stuff like that. Like, I get that, guys. But the fact that this game is crippling NVIDIA cards, and you've got dudes out there being like, yeah, man, I got 85 frames with frame generation. 85 frames with frame generation is not really that good, my friend. That means you're getting like 40. that's not good with frame generation. That is not going to be a great experience for a game like this. And you know, it is what it is. I'll let them all figure out the hard way. Some of them probably even got it free because they were giving it out with this. But the fact of the matter is, dude, if you're only getting like 90 frames on a 4080 with all the ray tracing, like you're getting, like that means you're at 45 frames, bro. That means you're at 45 frames and you're using frame generation to fill it in. You guys have heard me say it many times that you need at least 60 to 70 frames for frame generation to feel good, but what do I know, man? I mean, it seems like more and more and more, all of the freaking NVIDIA bros are literally PlayStation fanboys. They moved over to PC, and they have a high tolerance for that kind of stuff like I do still. I still have a high tolerance for that, but to tell you the truth, for me, for some reason, NVIDIA's frame generation just doesn't feel as good as AMD's frame generation to me. It just feels better on AMD. So, I mean, I guess you could use FSR, but hey, man, artifacts. So people, I don't know, guys. The game just doesn't look good to me. I can't find good enough settings to really make it look good, to really make it pop. I mean, I found something the other day to get it to the point where it was like, all right, this is giving me like 120 FPS. It looks pretty decent on the monitor. But at the same time, then that just leaves this thing in the back of my head. Well, oh man, your hardware's not good enough, and I can already tell you that a lot of NVIDIA bros are gonna be feeling inadequate when this game comes out. And all I'm trying to say is I hope you guys don't feel that way, because I kind of feel like this game is an inadequate game that just isn't really good enough to really try to put yourself in a situation. Look at all the other games we got out that run amazingly. Cyberpunk. We've got so many good games out there that run so good, and this thing just looks like it runs like trash. I mean, I guess there was 1 minute footage of the PlayStation version, and I saw what Digital Foundry was saying about it. They're saying, "Woo boy, it looks like it's running with frame generation." Oh, it's 60 frames, guys. Think about that. Think about that. The PS5 version, the performance mode is running with frame generation. It's not even a real 60 frames a second. It's running with frame generation. Something is seriously broken with this game, because Lords of the Fallen is the same Unreal Engine. It has the same, like it has ray tracing and all of that, and that game runs significantly better. So I don't know, guys. I'm just not feeling 100% about Black Myth Wukong. I've experienced some of these Chinese games. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying that they are quite underwhelming, and all of the Chinese, the Mandarin is so like you can't understand it. So you have to read everything, and for the most part, a lot of it's broken English too. Like you'll be trying to read it, and it just sometimes it doesn't even make sense. So I don't know what to say to you guys, man. Like, I'm not saying that I don't want you to buy this game. If this is something that you want and you can just, you know, get through it and not care about story and just be there for the combat and stuff, that's fine. But I don't know, guys. I want your guys' opinion. If you think I should cover this, or if you think I should just get my money back and move it on over to Ubisoft, because I love Ubisoft, and you know how much I love Ubisoft. And I got to buy 2 copies of that game, that Star Wars game, because I got to buy it and review it, and then my daughter wants to play it. That's like her game. She's been waiting for this. So we are Ubisoft fans, and we're looking forward to the Star Wars game. And I just don't know, man. I know there's a lot of clicks on the table for this game, but I just don't care. I just don't care. So let me know if you guys really want me to cover it. If not, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.